Hello everyone. There is a video on your course webpage called Data Prep with Excel and text files. And one of you requested to do this video using a newer version of Tableau because that video was made using, I believe it's 2008, Tableau 2008. But as you watch this video, you'll realize that there are not many differences between 2008 and 2022 version of the Tableau. So first we need to upload the data. You click on Microsoft Excel and then you find the data set that you downloaded before and then click open. And now you can see here the tabs of the Excel file: ideal, result incidents, and tires. And we need result incidents, so you drag it here onto empty canvas. And Tableau automatically finds out the rows and columns of the data set. So easy way to clean the data is using Data Interpreter. What we can do is click on Use Data Interpreter. And once you click on it, Tableau is going to automatically delete the null spaces on your data set. And you can review the results by clicking on here. And that is going to open a new Excel file. And for the result incidents, Tableau is showing you which columns are the headers and which ones are data. So let's go back to Tableau again. As you see here, we have the employee and then we have the date, but we usually prefer a tall data to analyze the data with Tableau rather than a wide data. So what is tall data? Tall data means that you want the dates in one column and relevant values in another column. So instead of here 1/1/2015 as one column and 2/1/2015 as the second column, we will have one column and we call that column date, and then you will have in the first row 1/1/2015 and in the second row you will have 2/1/2015. So we need to pivot the table. How we are going to do: first select the first date column and then go to the end of the data set, and here click Ctrl Shift and one more time select the last column that you have date, and after that right click and you will see pivot option. Click on pivot option, and now as you see the data is now in tall format. As I said before, you have the dates listed here and then the employee and the values. So we can rename the columns by double clicking on the name. So this is going to be date and this is going to be incident. This is result incidents. And next we need to split this employee column because it has two components. One is the location of the employee and the second one is their ID, employee ID. In order to do that, you can click here and then you will see split. Once you click on split, Tableau automatically splits the location and then employee ID. So here is going to be location and here is going to be employee ID. So let's look at the next step is to check the data type. And here the date is string value. We need to change this because date is not a string value. And then click here, you will see that there is an option for the data type called date, and click on that. And you need to make sure for your assignment too, all the data types are correctly selected and all splits done and all missed values are deleted. Number of incidents is number, which is correct. Location is a string value and employee ID is number. Okay, perfect. And here, this can stay as employee because we are not going to use this column. And next we are going to add more data to our analysis. We will choose Data Prep, Flights, and here we will drag tiers. And as you see again, data needs to be cleaned. The first thing is get rid of the null value. So use the Data Interpreter. And if you want, you can check the results and make sure that everything is done correctly. Second, you need to make sure the data is in tall format. So we need to pivot the date column. Click on the first date column, Control Shift, and then select the last date column, and then right click and then choose Pivot. And now you need to rename your fields. This is going to be your date, and this is going to be result incidence. And the next thing, we need to make sure that the employee ID is split. So as you see here, when you scroll down the data, now employee ID has three components: the location, the employee ID, and the tier. So we need to split the data to make sure that we have three separate columns. But in this case, since we have three different components, we are going to use custom split. And here we will use the dash as a separator, and we want to split all employee, and then click OK. Now Tableau splits the data in three columns. First one is the location. Let's change the name, double click location. And the second one is the employee ID. And the third one is the tier. So the third thing you need to do is to make sure that the data types are correctly selected. Date doesn't, it shows as a string value, so we need to make sure we choose date here. Here, number of incidents, result incidents is number, which is correct. Location is string, correct. Tier is string, it's okay, we can keep it like that. But here, we can choose employee ID as number, whole number. Okay, so as you see, that completes the analysis, and this is what you need to do. If I summarize the result, make sure you get rid of all missing values using data interpreter. Second, you have to make sure that you have a tall data set with the dates column. And the third one is you need to make sure the data type is selected correctly.